Welcome to Audit the Audit, where we sort out the who and what and the right and wrong of police interactions. This episode covers officer professionalism, the Fourth Amendment, and failure to ID, and is brought to us by EWU Bodycams and Bravo Moto's channels. Be sure to check out the description below and give them the credit that they deserve. This will be another double feature episode, so be sure to stick around and check out our coverage of both of today's interactions. On August 23, 2020, City of Chicago police officers Jonathan Ridgner and Nicholas Abramson were on patrol when they observed Leroy Kennedy, who was walking on a city sidewalk at the time, engage in what they believed to be quote-unquote suspicious behavior and decided to detain him. Officer Ridgner ran up behind Mr. Kennedy, grabbed him by the neck, slammed him into a brick wall, took him to the ground, and smashed his head onto the sidewalk more than once. A group of witnesses began to gather, and the interaction that followed was captured on officer body camera.
Hey, no, chill out. You got roll your we'll roll your Take this. We just you. Take this. Come on. You just busted. Okay. You just busted. Take this. You playing, bro. You playing, bro. You playing, bro. You playing. You better let me go for y'all. Helping you. Helping you. You just this face up like this. Man, you just this face up. That you stand on that bitch. You was trying to fight me, bro. Man, you was trying to fight them. Trying to fight you. God, you touching me for no reason, bro. I ain't got shit on me, bro. I ain't take off running. I walk though. I ain't run. I walk though. On my man, don't put me no. Stop pushing him, bro.
I'm gonna get some medical attention over there.
Bro,
back up. Back up. I'll do that. Back up. Bro, I got ambulance coming from. Back up. Give me some space. I'm trying to get medical attention, bro.
Cause you did.
It is what it is. Ain't no
that's why we don't like y'all. Should kill y'all. I hate y'all. You just my face up, bro. I ain't got bro. I have nothing.
Why you take
what y'all with me for, bro? I walked off, bro.
Did you move my hands?
Bro, you want to search me, bro? How about the copy you search me? You can search me hands down, everything. I don't have nothing on me.
Handling in the custody. Take control now.
I got you.
Okay, now district guard, take a district guard. District guard handling in the custody. Augusta and Hamlin, take a district guard.
Let's go then. Skinny. Take that off. 140 pounds. Right. 140 pounds. Hold on with your homies. Come, Tony. Take that off. He wasn't like that when you just got out here. He was not like that. All that fuck, bro. Ain't nobody trying to tell you. I appreciate you guys. Stay right there. That's fine. Ain't nobody trying to tell me that you bro. Why you getting all tough and down like that? Sticks and all the people picking up sticks and not like that. Me and just slammed on his head. We did. We know. We're not lying about it. Right. Okay. Oh, what the force for? We start fighting it out. He choked him through the gate. We tried to talk to him. You pulled up. You talking about the break. That's all over. We don't need that. Yeah, because he slammed him on the He did. I understand. Okay. Buddy was coming up behind him, okay? Trying to pull him away. He was. It's on camera. Talking to a white dude, bro.
What's the issue?
Lock your dumb.
You need more training.
I need more training.
You need sacrifice. You got a mental problem. He said he's gonna catch a body. Everything recorded. Him right here. He said he gonna catch a body out here. Everything.
He came up to me with this. You picked up a back. It's on camera. I did. I will.
As the crowd confronts the officers about their actions, Officer Abramson responds with insults and profanity. As we have discussed before here on ATA, the Supreme Court explained in the 1987 case of Houston versus Hill that, quote, the First Amendment protects a significant amount of verbal criticism and challenge directed at police officers. Speech is often provocative and challenging, but it is nevertheless protected against censorship or punishment, unless shown likely to produce a clear and present danger of a serious substantive evil that rises far above public inconvenience, annoyance, or unrest. Accordingly, it is highly likely that a court would conclude the bystanders' critiques of Officer Ridgner and Officer Abramson were protected speech under the First Amendment. Additionally, according to the Chicago Police Department General Order GO2-03, which outlines the department's so-called community policing mission and vision, officers should employ the concepts of so-called procedural justice and legitimacy, with a focus on giving others a voice or listening, neutrality in decision-making, respectful treatment, and trustworthiness. Applying these principles, the procedure also requires that, quote, all interactions with members of the public will be conducted with the utmost respect and courtesy and be based on the concepts of procedural justice and legitimacy. During each interaction, department members will strive to attain the highest degree of ethical behavior and professional conduct at all times. Now, in this situation, Officer Ridgner and Officer Abramson seem to be in clear violation of department policy, as they failed to listen to the bystanders' complaints or treat them with respect and courtesy, with Officer Abramson in particular directing profanity at the crowd and even telling them that he was going to, quote-unquote, catch a body.
I wasn't? Your ass was inside. I'm intimidated.
There's something obviously wrong with it, bro.
Make more than you, bro. Running. Remind me to take this. Relax. I got you, okay? I got you. We got you. Ain't nobody gonna treat you badly. I'm gonna get you water and everything, okay?
Let me go see his sister, man.
Put their hand
and he jumped out. He grabbed him. He didn't try to get aggressive with him. He picked him up and slammed him, man. On the guy in the car.
The officer, when
The black
the
officer
told
picked
him,
him up.
the officer grabbed him and started choking him.
I saw it. Right there.
My suggestion is, if you want to make a complaint, you can call COFA. But obviously, I mean, it looks like the guy's under arrest for something.
What?
We jumped him.
What y'all doing? What y'all trying to do? What y'all arrested?
What's he arrested for?
They instantly started fighting.
But you don't know what you're arrested for?
I'll be arrested for.
Hey, no, hey, see my face, do you see my face?
The bystanders repeatedly ask why Mr. Kennedy was arrested, and the officers do not give them a clear answer. According to the incident report for Mr. Kennedy's arrest, the officers, quote-unquote, detained Mr. Kennedy because he allegedly looked directly in their direction and stiffened his body by locking his shoulders and torso. The report also claimed that Mr. Kennedy's eyes, quote-unquote, enlarged, now quoting, meaning that his eyebrows rose, which produced a shocked look on his face, and that he, now quoting again, adjusted his hands and manipulated his front lap area, which the officers believed was indicative of an attempt to conceal a handgun. However, as we have explored in previous episodes of ATA, law enforcement officers cannot legally detain individuals unless they have reasonable suspicion to believe that they are engaged in criminal activity. In the 2013 case of U.S. versus Williams, the Seventh Circuit Court of Appeals, which has jurisdiction over Illinois, determined that officers did not have reasonable suspicion to believe that an individual was armed and dangerous based on the facts that he had his hands in his pocket or near his waistband, that he avoided eye contact, and that he began to move away from the area when the police arrived, even though the encounter occurred in a high-crime area, and the police were responding to a 911 call reporting weapons. In reaching this conclusion, the court reasoned that, now quoting, most people, when confronted by a police officer, are likely to act nervous, avoid eye contact, and even potentially shift their bodies as if to move away from the area, thus making such behaviors of very little import to a reasonable suspicion determination. Well, given this precedent, it seems unlikely that Mr. Kennedy's potentially nervous behavior described in the police report constituted sufficient evidence to give the officers reasonable suspicion. As such, it is probable that a court would conclude that any detention of Mr. Kennedy under these circumstances would violate the Fourth Amendment, let alone the forceful detention carried out by Officer Ridgner and Officer Abramson.
Don't matter, man.
They started grabbing on Ridge as soon as we walked up, grabbing his back, grabbing the back of his vest, pulling him away. We didn't even say
Hello, man. That's my phone. No, don't touch my phone. I got
from the takedown? Yeah. I see you. Yeah.
Oh, Angelo Gray, 5148, 9148. Angelo, I'm gonna sue all you. Angelo Gray, I'm gonna lose y'all job. Angelo Gray, I research y'all. I don't understand why you still here.
What's up?
Why you still here?
Why am I still what?
Why the you still here?
Why am I still what?
You heard what I said. Find you, right?
Patel 18129.
Damn sure gonna know. My lawyer come holler at y'all, you damn sure gonna know.
Cool.
You damn sure finna get y'all food.
Alright, that's good.
Why you grab me like that? Why you grab me for that? I don't get why he touching me, bro.
After his arrest, Mr. Kennedy was taken to the hospital with injuries to his head and wrist. He was then transported to jail, where he remained for 4 days and was charged with multiple counts of aggravated battery. However, on December 18, 2020, all charges against Mr. Kennedy were dismissed. On February 17, 2021, Mr. Kennedy filed a civil rights lawsuit against Officer Ridgner, Officer Abramson, and the city of Chicago. And on June 10, 2022, Mr. Kennedy agreed to dismiss the suit in exchange for a $195,000 settlement. The Chicago Civilian Office of Police Accountability, or COPA, investigated the encounter and determined that Officer Ridgner and Officer Abramson detained Mr. Kennedy without justification, arrested Mr. Kennedy without justification, made false, misleading, incomplete, and/or inaccurate statements when completing reports related to the encounter, and failed to properly activate their body-worn cameras. The investigation also found that Officer Ridgner grabbed Mr. Kennedy by the throat and took him to the ground without justification, and that Officer Abramson stated words to the effect of, quote, "I'm going to catch a body today," and failed to report the excessive force used by Officer Ridgner against Mr. Kennedy. As discipline, the chief administrator of the Office of Police Accountability recommended that Officer Ridgner and Officer Abramson be terminated from the department. The chief administrator also recommended that Supervisors Lieutenant Kevin Keefe and Sergeant Nicholas Urban be terminated for making or approving one or more false, misleading, incomplete, and/or inaccurate statements when approving the tactical response reports completed by Officer Ridgner and Officer Abramson. Under the Chicago PD disciplinary process, a termination complaint must be filed and decided by the Chicago Police Board before an officer can be fired. And as of the date of writing this episode, the board has not released a decision relating to the termination of Officer Ridgner, Officer Abramson, Lieutenant Keefe, or Sergeant Urban. However, Officer Ridgner's LinkedIn page shows his employment at the Chicago PD ended in July of 2024, and that he is currently employed as a police officer in the village of Broadview, Illinois. Overall, the Chicago officers get an F for forcefully detaining Mr. Kennedy without any legitimate justification for doing so, employing a level of force that would have been excessive even if they had a reason to seize him, and maintaining hostile and confrontational demeanors throughout the encounter with both Mr. Kennedy and the witnesses that gathered to protest his arrest. The lack of leadership and professionalism displayed by all of the officers involved in this encounter was truly astounding, and rather than attempting to control and de-escalate the situation with the witnesses, the officers argued with them and actually escalated the chaos, with Officer Abramson in particular egging on the crowd, seemingly threatening them with lethal force and repeatedly directing profanity at the angry citizens. This level of unprofessionalism is entirely unacceptable in a police officer at any level, and in this encounter, it is clear that the officer's response to the bystanders further damaged an already strained police-community relationship. Mr. Kennedy gets an A, because although he did appear to step away from the officers as they ran towards him, this is understandable given the fact that he was being quickly and forcibly detained for no apparent reason. And Mr. Kennedy took appropriate and effective action after the encounter to seek accountability for the constitutional violations the officers subjected him to. While it is unclear whether Mr. Kennedy himself filed a complaint against the officers, an investigation was conducted, with termination of the officers involved being recommended, and Mr. Kennedy did file a lawsuit and ultimately ultimately obtained a sizable reward for the officer's misconduct. Let's move on to the second encounter. On October 3rd, 2023, Michael Donovan, the owner of the Bravo Moto YouTube channel, was riding his motorcycle with several other motorcyclists when New York State Police Trooper Christopher Cusack initiated a traffic stop on the group. Mr. Donovan, who was filming the ride, recorded the encounter that followed and uploaded the footage to his YouTube channel.
Just go down there. Get your phone out at the top of the hill. It's down on the right. Don't touch my... I'll turn it off.
Turn it off.
I said don't touch... Give me my... Yo! What the bro? Yo! Yo! Give me my...
Sit back
Did
on
you
the
see
bike.
me commit a crime?
I got reports of you.
I don't give a... Did you
Who's
see
the other
me
one?
commit a
that took off?
crime?
Who's the other one that
Did
just
you...
took off?
Did you, trooper?
Sit. You want to get arrested?
Do you want him? You really?
Turn around.
I want my...
You're going to get him back.
I didn't do...
Took off on me.
I
Doesn't
didn't
matter.
do...
Turn your bike off.
I didn't do a thing. You got no right, bro. You got no. I need my key if you want it.
Trooper Cusack performs a blockade-style maneuver by driving his vehicle in front of the motorcyclists, orders Mr. Donovan to turn off his motorcycle, and takes the key out of the motorcycle when Mr. Donovan does not immediately shut off the bike. It is highly likely that a court would conclude that Trooper Cusack would be within his authority to conduct a traffic stop in this situation. Mr. Donovan's motorcycle was clearly stopped past the red light so-called stop line in violation of Section 1111 of the New York Vehicle and Traffic Law, and as the Second Circuit Court of Appeals, which has jurisdiction over New York, explained in the 2009 case of U.S. v. Stewart, quote, "The reasonable suspicion of a traffic violation provides a sufficient basis under the Fourth Amendment for law enforcement officers to make a traffic stop." Trooper Cusack also mentioned receiving some sort of report about the motorcyclist's conduct, although he did not provide the details of the call, so this information could also have contributed to Trooper Cusack's reasonable suspicion. Now, while in some circumstances a traffic stop that is supported by reasonable suspicion or even probable cause can be held unconstitutional if the scope of the detention surpasses what is reasonable, in the 1985 case of U.S. v. Hensley, the Supreme Court determined that officers are, now quoting, authorized to take such steps as were reasonably necessary to protect their personal safety and to maintain the status quo during the course of the stop. And although Trooper Cusack's taking of Mr. Donovan's keys would certainly constitute a seizure under the Fourth Amendment, courts that have reviewed the issue have generally concluded that officers may temporarily take a driver's keys during a lawful traffic stop when the seizure is justified by concerns regarding officer safety or potential flight by the detainee. As such, it is possible that a court would conclude that Trooper Cusack's actions were justified, particularly given the concerns that he voiced about one of the motorcyclists who had ridden off before he could initiate the traffic stop, and the fact that he likely had probable cause, not just reasonable suspicion, to detain Mr. Donovan based on the location where he had stopped the vehicle.
I need my key if you want it. Buddy, I want my key if you want my... I don't know who the f you think you are touching my... You got no right, bro. You did not see me commit a crime. That's it. I didn't break the law.
Where are you supposed to be parked?
I didn't
Are you parked
break...
behind the stop line?
No, you
broke
just
the
did
law.
that.
You broke
just
the law.
did that.
You
It's
broke
on
the law.
video.
I'm fine with it on video.
Yeah.
And I'll seize it for evidence.
No, you
didn't
won't.
break any crimes.
No, you won't. I didn't break a crime. You didn't see it.
Sit
You're
down.
too wise.
All right, you know what?
No.
Put your hands behind your back.
No.
Put your hands behind your back. You're getting detained.
I didn't do
You're getting detained.
dude. Get my helmet off.
You're getting detained.
Let me get
Stop.
my... I'm not.
The reason why he's getting detained.
I what?
No.
Yo, you gotta get my helmet off, bro. You're
Failing
making
to
me
identify
claustrophobic.
himself.
Call Trooper Donovan.
Hit him for no reason.
Trooper Cusack handcuffs Mr. Donovan and claims that he is being detained for, quote, failing to identify himself, despite the fact that he never requested that Mr. Donovan provide identification. Under New York state law, the failure to exhibit a driver's license when demanded by an officer during a traffic stop is not an independent offense, as it is in many other states. However, according to Section 507 of the New York Vehicle and Traffic Law, quote, failure by a licensee to exhibit a license to any police officer shall be presumptive evidence that he is not duly licensed. In other words, if a driver fails to provide their license to an officer during a traffic stop, they can be issued a citation for unlicensed driving in violation of Section 509 of the New York Vehicle and Traffic Law. However, because Mr. Donovan did not fail to display his license, as Trooper Cusack did not ask him for it, it is highly unlikely that a court would determine that Trooper Cusack had probable cause to believe that Mr. Donovan was driving without a license.
Call Trooper Donovan.
Resisting.
I'm not.
Yo, whatever.
I'm not resisting. I want my helmet off.
Doesn't matter.
Dude, I'm claustrophobic.
Get in the back of the car.
I'm claustrophobic.
What's your name?
Michael Donovan.
Michael?
Yeah, Trooper Donovan's cousin.
I don't care.
Okay, I didn't
Come
do
back
anything.
up here. Come over here.
I didn't do anything,
you're violating
bro.
the law. You're not parked behind the stop line.
Jesus, man, are you kidding
Sit right
me?
here.
The
Sit right
sensors
here.
never pick us up.
Doesn't matter.
Bro, please take my helmet off. Grab the straps right there. Pull them out to the sides. Please. Yo, I'm freaking out, bro. Bro. I'm claustrophobic. Bro.
Where? Yeah, you were stopped before the light turned green.
Bro, I'm fucking
Who was the other guy who just
claustrophobic.
took off?
I don't know.
All right, dude.
Who's the
That's
other guy who
great.
took off?
I can't breathe.
How do I
I
take it
can't
off?
breathe.
Relax.
No,
Relax.
get the thing off. I've been saying it for 2 minutes.
You need to.
I'm claustrophobic.
Relax.
Please get my helmet off.
Relax.
I can't, bro.
Relax.
Get undone. Get it the off my head. Get it the off.
All right. Someone.
Bro, are you kidding me?
Know this guy? Stop moving around.
Bro,
I don't know who you think you are.
get it off. Man. Holy shit, breathe.
Give me a ticket.
Dude.
Give me a ticket.
As of right now, we need to know who this other guy was that just took off.
I have no idea, bro. We were coming up the highway. My wife's down the road. Okay? That's what I was doing.
You're getting a ticket for this, and I need your name.
Whatever, bro. I told
Where's
you my
your wallet?
name. Oh my God. I don't carry a wallet when I'm on my bike. If you want to hit me, I'll give you my ID.
Donovan? What is your first name? What is your first name?
Can I get my phone?
What is your
It's
first
my
name?
wife, dude. When we ride
What is
motorcycles.
your first name?
Michael.
You're getting arrested for
Michael.
obstruction if you don't stop.
My wife.
What is your
is
date
on
of
a
birth?
motorcycle.
What is your date of birth?
33079. Bridge. Bridge. Get
What?
down here,
What?
ASAP. I'm fucking in handcuffs. You cut me off.
Well, I wonder
you didn't
why.
give me a chance to pull over.
Right now, if we had a green light, you did that. You would have risked our lives.
My lights are on.
You would have.
No, it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter,
It's
bro.
the way you
Does
did
not
not
matter.
pull up
The way
behind
you came up,
Why
then
would
you
the
said
The light was changing when you pulled in front of us. This
Why
light
did
was
he
You
take
changing.
didn't
off?
pull up behind me.
Why did he take off?
How would you know that? How would we
I did
know?
not know.
Everybody is going. I'm a 46-year-old man.
Stop. You're going in the car. Come here.
Bro, no, I'm not going in the.
Can't deal with you
Stop.
yelling.
You're
Take him out of
asking us, we're
handcuffs, dude.
telling you.
Take him out of handcuffs. He did nothing wrong. You did more wrong than he did, bro. When the light was changing green. Why'd you take him out of handcuffs and not detain us for no reason?
Acting, how am I supposed to
Look what you're doing, dude. Look what you're doing. Look what you're doing.
According to Mr. Donovan, he filed a formal complaint against Trooper Cusack after the encounter. But when he called several months later about the outcome of the internal affairs investigation, he was not provided with any information. Mr. Donovan also told me that he intends to post an apology video, but as of the date of writing this episode, an apology has yet to appear on his channel. Overall, Trooper Cusack gets a C-, because although a court could find that his conduct did not violate the Constitution, he maintained an overly aggressive and antagonistic demeanor throughout the traffic stop, and handcuffed Mr. Donovan for allegedly failing to identify himself when he had never demanded identification. Although we do not know all the details of this encounter, such as the alleged conduct by the motorcyclists that Trooper Cusack received reports about, Trooper Cusack seemed unreasonably angry and hostile from the very beginning of the interaction, resulting in a negative experience for everyone involved. And while there may have been reasons that I am unaware of for Trooper Cusack's decisions to execute a blockade-style detention and confiscate the motorcyclist's keys, these choices seem out of proportion to the threats posed by a simple traffic stop. Mr. Donovan gets a C, because although I understand why he was upset by Trooper Cusack's actions, he also behaved in an angry and confrontational manner throughout the traffic stop, and demonstrated several misunderstandings regarding the legal requirements for traffic stops. First, Mr. Donovan argued that Trooper Cusack could not detain him because he did not see him commit a crime. However, courts have repeatedly determined that officers may conduct traffic stops based on reasonable suspicion of a traffic offense, and that officers are not limited to their own observations in making such stops. As such, officers are often well within their authority to detain individuals, even when they do not personally see them commit crimes. And in this situation, not only did Trooper Cusack observe Mr. Donovan's motorcycle past the stop line, but he may have received reports from citizens that provide additional reasonable suspicion to make the stop. That being said, I do appreciate Mr. Donovan's passion for his civil rights, but I would encourage him to learn more about the ways that courts have interpreted the limitations of those rights. Let us know if there is an interaction or legal topic that you would like us to discuss in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to check out my second channel for even more police interaction content.